And we'll have time at the end, depending on how people are feeling. We can chat about things and show different use cases for this as well. But so today we're gonna talk about a tool called Snagit, and we have a not a campus license for this, but we have a small license, so it is available for faculty and staff to use. The nice thing about this license is, even though it's not a site license, it's per person, so you can install it on your office machine and your home machine. So it's really just, you can just use the same number on multiple computers. So it's a really flexible tool. It's a really simple tool to use, and it's primarily made for taking still images of your desktop and then annotating on top of it. So creating step-by-steps, creating arrows. Many of you in here have emailed us with questions, and we'll email you back a screenshot that has all this stuff on top of it. And that's what we use for it, right? So this is the tool. It also does video recording. The big difference between Snagit and like Zoom or something else is, well, Zoom is really about conferencing, right? So Snagit is just you recording and then uploading it later. But compared to some other screen recording software, it's really basic. You just record, you can do some minor editing and upload it, and you're done, which is great, right? It's like, I don't want all those bells and whistles. So the primary focus of the tool is that static still image. Because we happen to know that there's not many people in here that are, many of you don't necessarily know each other, do we want to go around really quick and just introduce who you are and what department you work in? And let me bring up my participants and I'll just go down the list. Karen, you want to do a brief introduction real quick?
Sure. My name's Karen Shannon, and I believe I've met you all here, but I work at the FRC, and I also teach an online course for marketing.
Okay. And then Donna, if your mic's working.
Hi, I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Great. I'm Donna Thompson. I work in the HIT department, and I would really like to know how to use Snagit.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. And Gina?
Hi, everyone. I'm Gina Bell, and I teach in the psychology department, and I'm super excited about Snagit.
Laura?
I'm Laura Gardinali, and I teach in the Foreign Language Department, School of Modern Languages.
And Marianne?
I'm Marianne, and I teach French. Hi,
Laura.
Hi. Mei Fang, I think is.
Yeah, my name is Mei Fang, and I teach Chinese. Hi.
Hi.
And Su Fen? Your mic isn't on.
Your mic.
She sent a message saying she was having trouble with her mic.
Oh, no worries. There you go. Looks like you're good. Nope, not working. Oh. Okay. Which you can type in what department you work in or what you teach. And then Guire.
Hi there, my name's Guire Schuyler, and I'm an academic counselor, and I'm with the HIT program. So nice to be here with you, Donna. And I'm just super excited. Thank you.
Got it. All right. I'm going to hand it over to Karen, who will do the first part of this, showing you kind of the interface and how to get into the still image portion, and then I'll come back later to show you how to do the video side.
Okay, and just confirm you can see my screen here. It says group slides. Okay, perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to send to you after the workshop today is a form to fill out. And when you fill that out, the form is going to give you a link where you can download the program. It's going to give you the key that you need to get the program started and installed onto your computer. But once you have it on your computer, what you can do, and you can see when I put my cursor to the top of my screen, what's going to be installed is this little pop-up window, so that Snagit I can easily get to it anytime. I could also come down here and search for Snagit if I wanted to, and just open up the app if I wanted to have it show up and I wanted to open it up this way. But sometimes it's pretty handy just to have this little drop down available where I can click on and open it up. Okay, so when you open up Snagit, open up the application, I want you to notice a couple things on the left-hand side that you can choose to select 3 different ways. I could select all in one, which basically means I can choose an area to record or take a picture of, but I select the area first and then I choose, do I want it to be an image or a video? What I tend to do is I like it that for the most part I'm doing images, and so I just have it set to images, no selection made unless I want to create a video. Okay, so once you open up Snagit and you choose that you want to create an image, there's a couple things up here. Let me just show you real quick. So under the file, I don't think there's anything there I want to point out to you to make changes to, but I want to point out that under help, there's a number of different tutorials, okay, that are very handy. They have videos and they have just steps that'll walk you through type of tutorials. Okay, a couple other things on this view is the selection. And remember, I mentioned that I keep it on region because usually I'm choosing an image and I'll make that selection. There's also a way to do what's called a panoramic scrolling picture, so that, let's say in this, for instance, that I wanted to screenshot a picture, a PDF, or an image of this whole page. So instead of making a number of different smaller images and trying to stitch them together, what I can do is I can choose this panoramic scrolling capture. And if I select it, you noticed it changed right up here. But then if I click on caption, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this. Let me move it over. Can you see this all right? It says click to start. It gives me this little fly out window. So what I did, I made the choice of the whole window here, but I wanted picture of everything, you know, because this page is kind of long, but for some reason I want to have an image of this whole page. So I chose panoramic capture. And then if I click save, and this is a little different than how it used to be. And now all I have to do, and you can see, I think in this little icon, it's showing you I'm scrolling through this whole page. And it's actually making one image of this complete scroll. I don't have to go the whole way down. I can if I want, but when I'm done, I just click on stop, and it's going to process my caption. And what it's going to do, it's going to open up this image in Snagit's editing area. Okay, so it should come up. And so this is the Snagit editor. And if I just needed this, let's say for, you know, reference for me, you know, this is easy enough to save. If I wanted to, let me zoom in here. So you can always, you know, it seems awfully long, but, you know, you can zoom in and out to get an idea of what was on here. You could use this a number of different ways. Okay, so that's up to you how you use the different items. If I save this, if I go to File, Save As, I can save it a couple of different ways. And one of these options is a PDF. Okay, and usually with Snagit, when you create something, it kind of guesses what you're going to be using it for. So for the most part, when I'm just doing images, and I choose to save it, it's going to save it as either a PNG, which is an image file, or a JPEG file. Okay, both of those are perfect to be adding to Canvas if you have an image you want to use in Canvas, or if you need it to be placed in like a Google Doc or a Word doc if you're creating some type of tutorial. Okay, so but then something long like this, you might want to make it a PDF. So there's different options here on how you save these different items. Okay, so that is just taking a scrolling screenshot here, but let me show you something else you could do. Where do I have it at? There it is. I had an instructor who said to me that she has everything the students need in this one module, and she's telling students to go there, and they didn't seem to be, following what she was explaining. So I told her, or I suggested to her, why don't we create an image? And I'm going to do the same thing as I did before. Instead of panoramic, I'm going to choose region. And what I had her do is I had her just take a screenshot of this. Okay. And so once again, it opens up in Snagit. And these are all the things that the students need to complete this midterm presentation. And so what I suggested she do is use these different step icons over here. And so if you need ones that point, or if you just need a, just a circular item here, you can choose one, choose the color. And then what I did is I had her go through, this is very simplistic, and just highlight, put a number by each of these items. And then, she could do other things if she wanted to. Let me show you what she could do. A lot of times I see people using the highlighter if there's something, they really want to stress in their pictures that they capture, so this is access to all group presentations, who's in my group, things like that. So you'll see in the editor, there's a number of different tools you can use. I could, put arrows on here if I want. There's call outs and shapes. If I put that in the wrong place, I can just simply move it if this was to be somewhere else. Okay. And then those are the most common ones I use. But then what you could do, so we have it numbered, we have the steps numbered. I would save this. And I'm going to save it onto my desktop as, I'm just going to call this steps. Okay, and then what this instructor did, she actually made a write-up in, let me just grab a Google Doc here to show you what she did. And I think I have this one here we'll use. Okay, so she could have placed the imaging in a Canvas page to, to preview about the module. She could also create a document with images like we're going to do here. So I saved that image on my desktop. So I'm just going to go to insert image. I'm going to upload it from the computer, and I called it steps. Okay. And so easy enough to do. You can make this as simple or as fancy as you need it to be. And what she basically did is she just created a list. So the numbers are going to correspond with the numbers up here. And so she would just put a number, and she would give more of an explanation about what that is or who would be using it. And so this is a nice, easy way to give a visual to students, and instead of saying everything you need to know is in the group slides presentation, maybe there's something in particular that a lot of students were missing. And I know that who's in my group that really needed to be pointed out to this group of students. And so you can use the different tools like this to give directions to your students. Another thing is perhaps, let me go back to a couple cool things. Now, you probably know sometimes when you click on different areas on a web page or in Canvas, like this 3-dot icon, there's this little list that comes out. If for some reason I wanted to point out to someone and I need a screenshot of this, let me just show you. If I go once again to capture, okay, if I click on that and I think, okay, this is what I want to capture. And if I click on to start capturing it, notice it disappears. And so this is really a nifty little thing that Rob taught me. It has a time delay if I want, so I could turn this on. Okay, and so now what happens? I want to take a picture of this. Whoa, don't tell me it didn't work. Capture. Okay, it gives me
first.
Yeah, it gives me a countdown. So you see down in the lower right, I was like, well, it didn't give me the countdown, but I click on it, and then the countdown will begin. Okay, so now I can get that disappearing little item that this is really what I want to screenshot to show people. Okay, so something else that comes in handy is, I know I do this for instructors. They have a question about a grade book, or I want to share something with instructors about a grade book, and I needed an example to show, but I don't want to be sharing, you know, students' names, students' grades. So what I could do is I could come in here, same basic thing. I click on capture, and it's giving me the countdown because I still have that on there. It's only 5 seconds, but sometimes if you don't need to caption, it seems like a long time. So you can choose to turn that off or not. But if for some reason I was sharing something about a grade book with another instructor, what I can do, and this is another item in here that I use a lot, is this blur tool. So I could blur the names of the students, okay? And so this way I could show something about the grade book without showing, you know, the students and their grades in here. So it's a nice way to remove students' names, anything, you know, FERPA laws and everything, to remove anything. We don't want to be sharing students' information. But a couple other things up here, I think these are the main ones I've used. If you want to, okay, the highlight one I use a lot, the step one I use a lot. Move, I think I showed you this. If I put something, any of these different items I'm putting in, but then I realize I did it, you know, incorrectly, I can move these around until I'm ready to export the image. So as long as it's in the editor, I can always make changes. Okay, and then the blur feature I use a lot. Move, fill, sometimes you could create an area, or maybe I want to hide something. Like this picture is perfect, except the one that I want to show you doesn't have actions on it. There would be a way for me to create an item. Actually, I could do a shape, and I could do a white shape, and I could just, you know, like block that out. You know, so if there's something, you know, I have the perfect image, but if only that wasn't there, I can find a way, you know, to put a shape over it. You could also use these different shapes if I'm telling them about a certain item, okay, and do different things. So this is, it gives you quite a few different things you can use. You can do call up outs. You can put text in here. Okay, so instead of that instructor putting a list of text, I might just have my message here, you know, and I can make this a little bit bigger. I can move this to match up with the arrow, but there's a number of things you can do with this. One last thing I'll show you is sometimes you're making directions about Canvas. Okay, so let's just say, let me go to, okay, maybe you're making directions about the different items. You're going to be doing discussions, and you have also, I think, and here's an icon for the assignments. So maybe I'm making directions up for students. What I could easily do is in my, you know, my paragraph of items, I could capture this, and here my countdown's still on. I can just quickly choose the different, you know, the different icons for the things I'm telling them about. So in just saying, you know, look for the discussion icon, I could actually show an example of it there. Okay, so we use it all the time, Rob and I, when I'm sure some of you probably have received an email from us where we return an image with the screenshots and, you know, the notes about the best way to use these different tools. But I'm pretty sure I use this daily. So I would suggest, you know, we'll send you the information, download it. I think you'll find it helpful. Is there anything that I've forgotten, Rob?
Well, the one thing I want to mention, and you guys can see there's a lot of options in that tool, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like PowerPoint, where there's like a bazillion filters, right? There's like so many stamps and like all kinds of shape tools and things in there. We're not going to go into like every single gallery and show you all the different items in there. We're really showing you kind of like the things that we find most useful in giving directions, right?
Yeah.
So we're kind of honing it down that way. So yeah, there's like a lot of things in here. When you're creating screenshots or doing all this stuff that she's just showing you, you can basically copy and paste. And if you look at the bottom of her screen, there's actually two different applications. There's the Snagit, which is orange. That's the capturing tool. And then there's another application that installs with it that's blue, which is the editor. So when it opens something up, it's actually a different program. And I just like to point that out because it's a little weird. But
Yeah,
if you're popping if you open up the capture tool,
Yeah.
I'll show it to you.
Come on.
But so if you're taking a screenshot that you're going to use in a Google Doc or in your email, you can basically copy and paste it, right? And you're okay. But if you're going to use this screenshot inside of Canvas, you've got to save it somewhere and upload it, or it won't work. You can't just copy and paste into Canvas. Canvas doesn't work that way, just as a reminder. So you can see now that she's got the two different tools open, which is the capture and the editor tool. So there's like two different little programs that installs at the same time.
Let me just show you quickly this one Google Doc that I was introduced to today, and very well made, but she used I'm assuming she used Snagit to quickly take these pictures to demonstrate. There's another one of the tools here, the circle indicating. But that's if this was just wording, it would be, this makes it a lot easier to go through and understand these directions.
Can you demonstrate? Donna is asking what the grab text tool is.
Grab text, you know what? That is a new one. There's two new ones. I can send you information on it, but I didn't have time to play with that. So the one is the panoramic scrolling capture, which I showed you, and that was available in the past, but it changed how it's done now. You saw I had to scroll with my cursor before. You just clicked on the area and it would just scroll automatically. The grab text, okay, so the selection grab text, let me hit caption, and I am curious. So if I click here, okay, so it grabbed the text off. So so I could copy this and I could place it somewhere. So I could pull, if this were a PDF, I'm guessing that it would help me to pull the text off of it if I wanted to move it into another part of an image.
And I'll tell you, the only time I've ever used that grab text is when somebody sends out like an invitation or something in the email, and it's a PDF that I can't edit. It's a screen. It's like basically an image that I can't edit at all, and I need to get like the Zoom link because they didn't make it clickable. So I'll use that grab text to highlight something, and it turns it into text that you can then just send out.
And they also added some new templates to use, and I haven't had the time to play with those, but I'll include the information in the help that we're sending out.
Yeah. So unless you're at the point, so if you're viewing a website or something and there was text that you wanted to copy but you couldn't because it's an image, that's what the grab text tool does. It's awesome. I just have found very little use for it. Yeah, you could probably do it off of that if you hit pause on the banner.
Okay, so grab text. Here we are. I'm going to capture, and let me see if I can pull this off. Okay, yep, and there it is.
Boom. And then you can just grab that text and you can copy and paste that into an email or into Google Doc or something, or into a Canvas page, and you've got editable text. I will say it's not perfect, but it's a nice little utility in there.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Specialized. Yeah.
Does the grab text, can you select languages?
I have no idea. I would assume not, but you can definitely try it.
Okay, so it only reads English.
It's a fairly new tool our new addition that we're not real super familiar with. I think Karen's looking it up too.
Yeah, if I go up modern languages, because I think you have some. was going to try one. ESL, is there something on here in Japanese maybe? Chinese, Japanese,
Super.
grammar links. Is there something in, perfect.
Ah.
Okay, so let me give it a try. Grab text, I'm going to hit capture. And let me just choose this part here. Nope. Mm-mm. So, but we could look and see maybe there's something that could be downloaded.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. If you just needed a copy of that though, you know, if, let me just show you that quickly. So if for some reason you just needed, I'm going to take a picture. And here's my, so if you just needed an image of something, you could use that, if that would work for you. But you can't type in it, you know, it's not separating it out. It's just taking an image off of that bigger image.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Robert.
And I'm looking briefly, but I don't see a list of languages or anything that's up there. Yeah, so always in this conversation, right, is the idea of copyright. So, but yeah, I mean, you can grab an image this way, like you can with a lot of other tools. It doesn't remove any copyright restrictions. So, you know, the idea is that we're using these types of tools for demonstrating something. If you're going to, let's say you go to a publisher's website and you start taking images off their website using Snagit, and then you're building your own version of the book in Google Docs, so your students don't have to pay for it. That's of course illegal, right? You're violating copyright law. So it's the same as any other tool that you're just, it's no different if me taking a picture with my phone, right, and then using it somewhere else. It always depends on what especially in education, depends on why you're taking that image. If you're, let's say I teach in marketing, so oftentimes I'll show a website that I want students to use. And so I'm taking screenshots so I can walk them through the process of how to use a website for research. That's okay, because I'm showing them, you know, how to do something. It's part of the teaching aspect of it. If I were then turn around and sell those instructions and profit off of it, that's not okay without permission. So that's always that fine line of copyright. If you're ever questioning copyright, it's probably not okay to do. It's a good rule of thumb. Let me share my screen. I have another window open at the moment. And hide this really quick. And here's Snagit. So any other questions so far, actually, before we move forward? I didn't see anything else in chat. Okay, so far. So we've showed you guys how to just take screen images, scrolling images, and use some of the tools in there. This last thing I want to show you is really about video, and I want to show you a couple tips inside of the toolbar itself. In this toolbar, notice there's an all-in-one, there's an image, and there's a video. Depending on this, the capture button stays there, but it changes what options I have available, right? So whether I'm in the all-in-one or the image, it doesn't matter. But if I'm in all-in-one and I hit capture and then I select a region, it's then going to ask me whether I want to take a photograph or a video, right? And if I hit X and go back to Snagit and I go to image, that's what Karen was using, it's just going to take a screenshot. But you can see there's a lot more options here than on the all-in-one. So it doesn't really matter which setting you use. I think Karen and I both default to the image one, and then we want to take a video, just switch to video. just so we have more options in here. If you want to get to the editor without taking a capture, you can click this open editor down here in the bottom right-hand corner too. And that'll just launch the editing version of Snagit with all the captures you have captured so far. And there's one more thing I wanted to show you, because I know I have or actually I think she already left. But under I'll come back to this part. Oh, there it is. Under File and then Capture Preferences is where, and if I go to Capture under this Preferences, this is going to show me what else there? But it shows you the quality of what you're grabbing. And I want to point this out because I think the default is medium. And you can change this to high quality or very low quality, right? The higher quality it is, the clearer, the sharper that screen grab is going to be, but it's going to take up more space, right? So it's a larger photo. So if you're using these screen grabs in something like PowerPoint or Google Slides, you could probably go down to low quality and save some space, but definitely double check it because it's not going to be very clear. And then if you're doing something like Karen was talking about, we're taking pictures of icons, you might want to up it to high quality if you're going to shoot something or take a grab of something that's really small and then make it bigger, just to help the clarity of it. But you don't need to come in here, but I just wanted to point that out. So if you're having issues with file sizes or anything like that, that's where you change it. I never really pay attention to it too much. So then let's go in and I want to show you or demonstrate how to do the video part. And so I'm going to go to video. And you can choose to have it recorded in the microphone or not. So you can just turn it off if you want to. So you can just record video with no sound on it. You can choose to have it show up in the editor or not. I always leave these things on. And then you also have this record system audio. And this is also an issue when you get into copyright, right? So if you're recording in general, right? If you're demoing your Canvas class, you're demoing students how to walk through an application or something like that, there's no audio to record. So you're fine. But if you were trying to record something where there was audio in the background, like music on a website or something like that, that could be copyright flagged. So in general, you want to have this off. So that's why it is off by default. But if you needed to do that for some particular reason, there is the option to do that. I've had mixed results with it. And then there is a webcam feature now, so I could record the webcam as well, but I'm going to leave that off. So I'm going to hit capture, and you'll notice this looks very much like capturing a still image. So I'm going to click and drag the region I want to record. And then I get this option bar down here. And so you can see as I'm talking, it's showing me my audio is working. If I hit record, it'll start recording. And I'm going to go on a limb here and say that this is not going to work because I'm actually recording over Zoom. So let me try this one more time. You guys can still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Let's make sure that was. I'm going to try it one more time, and I think it's not going to work. So I'm going to record a video really quick and close this off here. All right. Let me try turning off my video. Hit Zoom. There we go. Okay. So I've selected a region, and now my record button is lit up. And this is the webcam. So this lets me choose if I want to use a webcam or not as well. If I hit this reduce selection, it lets me redrag it. I'm going to hit record. And once I hit record, it should give me a countdown. And once the countdown ends, from now on, everything I'm doing is being recorded. So I can scroll on the website. I can go into any particular class. I can go to multiple tabs. So this records anything on my computer too, not just the web browser. So if I had a different piece of software open, or I wanted to demonstrate, the process of doing different things, I would just make sure you have the applications and screens ready that you want to do. You can use Snagit to record a PowerPoint presentation, a Google Slides presentation. You can actually walk them through your syllabus, right? So I could go into this class and walk through and do a demo for my class, and then I can pause it, take a drink of water. It stopped recording at this point, but it's seamlessly editing it, right? So then when I hit record again, it's going to start from this point on. So I can pause my recording, switch applications, show something else, back and forth. Once you're done with all your recording, and it gives you a little countdown timer so you can see how long it's been, and I'll hit stop, and this will open in the editor. Make my editor a little bit, I guess it doesn't matter. Notice now that I'm in the editing tool, this is a still image. Here's all my tools, they're all lit up nicely. The video has a little film strip on it down here in the bottom left-hand corner. So that signifies that this is a video clip, but all my tools get grayed out. So all those awesome, cool annotation tools that we were showing you, none of that works in video. So it's literally just a straight video clip. That's all there is to it. If I play this back, you won't hear it, but I can hear my voice over myself talking, which is really fun. But if I'm gonna go ahead and mute this. And you can see it's capturing the mouse movement. It's showing scrolling and navigating through something. So it's a really nice, quick way to do a little demo. Well, let's say that there was a piece in here. I wanted to cut off part of the front or part of the end or something like that. I can drag this little green and red handlebars off of this little scrubber, so we call it. So if I choose a little chunk here and say I didn't want this part, I can then hit cut, and it's going to cut that piece out. So if I'm in the middle of recording, I have a coughing fit, or a motorcycle goes by, I can come in this tool and just cut that off. I can also like do an end. So if I just had blank spot at the end, I would just cut that off. And then it's one video clip. From here, obviously I can't copy and paste a video. That's not gonna work. The video is too big. So I can go up to File and Save As, and I can save this as an MP4 file, just like I would do in Zoom if you've done Zoom recordings. Give it a name, save it in my documents, or save it in my downloads folder, or on my desktop, somewhere where I can find it easy. And then I can upload it to YouTube, and then YouTube will caption it, and then I can share it and link that in my class and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the same old. I've had mixed results with this, so I'm not going to walk through all the steps of it. But if you want to try and save yourself a step, under the share up in the upper left-hand corner here, I can share directly to YouTube. So instead of saving it, opening YouTube, logging into my account, I can go send to YouTube. The first time you log in, the first time you choose that, it's going to ask you to log in. So you log in with your pipeline email address and password, and then you can name it demo. Again, I like to keep everything unlisted for myself, and I'll hit upload, and it'll process the video and upload it. In my toolbar, you can see it's doing its job down here. And then, hey, my video is ready. So let's get the link, and I'll go ahead and view it as well. And here is my video already uploaded to YouTube and ready to go. Oh, it's processing, right? But it's done. It's up there. I'm just waiting for YouTube to do the processing on it. And I'll get an email that it's done. So that's kind of a cool little feature inside of Snagit. I'll tell you that because of the pipeline thing, it doesn't always work smoothly. So if I try that share, go to YouTube, and it doesn't work, I'm not going to bash my head against the wall. I'm just going to go to file, save as, save it, upload it to YouTube the long way, because there's no no reason to keep trying to do something that's not quite working right there. And then it's just a YouTube video. So then you can share it, you can copy the link, paste it in, whatever you want to do. Seems easy. The video side is pretty easy because there's not a lot of options there. If you had a short video, I don't know that any of you would necessarily want to do this, but you can save the video as a animated GIF, which works more like an image. There's no advantage to that in what we're doing at SBCC. If you were building something on, say, your website under Omni, and for some reason you wanted to have an animated image, you could do that. Again, I would just do a video. There's not really a big advantage to having a animated GIF, but that's an option there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just ignore that I even said that it exists. I'm gonna go ahead and stop share. Well, any other questions? Want to see anything again? Yeah.
I have heard some instructors say they like Snagit because they like to be able to, do an introduction of their face, and then just using that one icon, then they can flip it over.
Yeah.
And
I can't demo the webcam with the with Zoom at the same time, but yeah, it's possible. Snagit video does not do picture in picture, unless they've changed it and I'm lying to you, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. When you're doing the capturing, you can do either your screen recording or the video of your face. So what that would look like is record your face, you hit that webcam button, and it flips back to the screen, and you can kind of go back and forth. I use it only for the screen capturing, but that's a good point, Karen. Yeah, definitely different creative ways to use the tool. If you're used to using any other video capture or video editing software, this is still just making an MP4 file, right? So it's a standard video file. So if you wanted to bring that clip into something else, Premiere, if you wanted to bring it into PowerPoint or whatever else, you can do that. It's just a regular video MP4 file. So there's nothing fancy going on. And again, I find myself using this for doing quick demos because it is so quick and easy to do. Let's see if YouTube caught up with us. Boom, there it is. All done. Captioning will take a while, but the video is ready to go. And I can just copy this and paste it into my Canvas class, whatever I want to do with it. And any other questions? You want to see another piece of it? We like Snagit because of the simplicity of it, that it's not overly complicated. Like I said, on the image side, there's a lot of different annotation things. So you might find something that works for you. But gosh, I've been using Snagit for at least 8 years. And I only use those handful of tools that Karen showed you. I use the arrow tool, the numbering tool, and the blur tool. That's pretty much it.
It used to be we had Jing.
Yep. Before that, same company.
Yeah.
If you've heard of Camtasia, same company as well. So don't get into Camtasia. Camtasia is just a video editor. It's like Premiere. It's really heavy duty. This is a perfect tool for making those quick demonstration type videos. Close this. Finish. I'm gonna see if I can open up a Google presentation while you guys decide if you have any other questions.
I think Rick put a question in the chat.
When you first hit that share, let me share my screen again. So from the Snagit editor, when you hit share and you say YouTube and send to YouTube, when it first processes it here, it'll ask you how you want it to be shared. So it's going to ask you, you want it public, private, or unlisted. So once you've chosen unlisted the first time, it'll default to that. If you choose the wrong thing or you weren't sure what you chose and you want to see it afterwards, just go into your YouTube account. So I'm in my pipeline, sign in. And then over on the left, I'm going to click on your videos, which are my videos, not your videos. And that top video here is the one I just made. So if I click on the details, the little edit pencil there, I can also change the visibility here. So if you weren't sure, if you did it too fast, you're like, wait, what did I set it to? You can always come back up here and change it or check it, whatever you want to do there. So just once it's up there, it's just like any other video file that you've uploaded to YouTube, and you can get in there that way. And let me see if, oh, I know where there's a, I don't know what this is. Don't worry about it. I wanted to show you how I actually record when I'm doing lectures from Google Slides. So instead of going into present mode, I will leave my slides just like this, but I'm going to set my capture box to only this part of the screen. So in Snagit, I'll hit capture. So I'm on video, I hit capture, but then instead of doing the whole screen, I'm just going to choose the part that students would see if I did present it, right? So now it's going to capture, oh, I have my video on. Hold on, stop video, capture. Doing video while capturing video is never a fun time. Okay, so I hit record, and so now I'm recording this part of the screen, but then as I can just flip through my slides by clicking on the left, right? So I'm still kind of in editing mode in Google Slides, but I'm recording this part here. So this is how I like to do my voiceover narrations for doing my presentations, because I've got everything in Google Slides. You can do a similar thing in PowerPoint, right? You can just record the part that you want to show by clicking and dragging the part of the screen, leaving you to kind of navigate this however you want to, so you don't have to stay as linear as well. So that's the one little side note of kind of how I use the tool. And then when we stop that, you can see the video is only the region that I told it to record. So the students aren't seeing me clicking over on the left side at all. They just see the screen itself. I don't know if you'll find that useful, but again, just kind of showing you something I do with it all the time. And then like Karen said, we will email all of you that were in here with a link to a form, to a Google form. You fill out the form and you'll immediately get a link to a Google Doc. So once you hit that, close that form, don't close the window right away. Because as soon as you hit submit, you'll see a link, which will open up a Google page, a Google document that has the links to download the software for either PC or Mac, and the license code all in one place. So you fill out the form and you just grab it right from there. If you ever want to move computers, or you're moving back to campus, you need to install another computer, just email us and we'll send you that link to that form again. Because as time goes on and there's updates and upgrades, we have to give a new number and stuff. So you just fill out the form again, and we just use that to track who is using the application. That's all it's for. Because I think we have 500 seats. So that's how many people can have access to it at one time, kind of thing. We're nowhere near that, so we're good. And I think that's pretty much it for today, unless you have any other questions or ideas and thoughts. Was this exactly what you wanted, Gina?
I'm very excited.
Good. This is a fun tool to play with. If we were in the actual FRC lab, we would, obviously have you guys start trying this stuff out live. So it's a little weird to demo this over Zoom, because now you're like, okay, now go have fun by yourself. I realize I'm making hand gestures and you can't see me.
But I also think that you guys are so, like, I know when I email you, and I do, with like the most ridiculous questions. But anyway, you guys are so on top of responding to us. It's like being in the FRC, but it's not. I mean, it's not, because, we go in and talk and laugh, and we don't eat or drink in there though, but yes.
Yes, we do.
You could.
I know. I was kidding. But yeah, no, I think you guys do a beautiful job as far as I'm concerned with us being online. So thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, no, and this is a fun tool, and I think it's one of those things that when you start using it, you start realizing how much time this saves. Here's a screenshot. Click here. That one thing right there. That alone can save a lot. I use it with students a lot too. When I email back to students, just here's a screenshot. This is what I want you to see. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. It's still sunny outside. If you make it, enough time to get to the beach.
Thank you. Bye,
You're
everybody.
welcome. Bye. Take care.
Thank you.